Okay, we are rolling. We are rolling, brother. Champions of Champions boxing talk here. Well, the debut in the United States for Anthony Joshua is coming up soon against Andy Ruiz, who is a replacement for Big Baby Miller, who, because of the controversial drug scandal, won't be participating, with good reason. First of all, is this a better opponent than the original Miller? I think so, because to me, Baby Miller is relying on you as a puncher, not being able to hurt him, coming forward with a high guard, hoping that walking you down and him being able to land a shot here and there will be stronger than your arsenal against him. Problem is, he's never faced a puncher like Anthony Joshua. I wouldn't like, to be honest, like to have a high guard walking forward against Anthony Joshua. First of all, the recent punch that Anthony Joshua has really been good with is the jab to the stomach. He would rip Baby Miller with that shot down below until Baby Miller dropped them hands. And Anthony Joshua is, he possesses power in both hands. So right or left, his uppercut is good. I think he has more of a boxing IQ, more of a boxing pedigree than Baby Miller. Again, we're actually relying on Baby Miller having to take blistering punishment. I mean, he might have been able to do it. I don't know, but I doubt it. I think Joshua maybe would have finished Baby Miller within 2 rounds, 3 rounds max. Andy Ruiz. One thing I know about Andy Ruiz, well, a couple of things. He's got 32 wins. He's only 1 loss. That was a very disputed loss at that. But he's a volume puncher. He's quick. He's energetic. And he lets his hands go. And he likes to work up close. And to me, he seems to be able to get to a fighter's chest and in the trenches quicker than Baby Miller coming forward like, well, he is kind of slow compared with Andy Ruiz. So, I agree with Richard Dwyer. I think the fight with Joseph Parker could have gone either way. Had that been in the United States, Andy Ruiz may have been the WBO world champion. And he may have fought Anthony Joshua instead of Joseph Parker at Wembley a while back now. First of all, the benefit that Ruiz may have in this fight that Joseph Parker never had is this. Every time Joseph Parker tried to get on the inside at Wembley, the referee seemed to break the play up. So therefore, the guy with the longer arms is Anthony Joshua. Joseph Parker was on the mercy of that all night, the jab. And again, the distance. The referee was basically playing right into Anthony Joshua's hands. Had he let Joseph Parker work on the inside, we may have had a more competitive fight there. But I can't see, particularly in America, a referee not allowing Andy Ruiz to work on the inside. Because if you don't let fighters work when they want to work close, you're essentially taking their game plan away. But Andy Ruiz, I think, is going to be able to do some work in this fight. And Joshua, if there's one sort of thing for me, his head movement and upper body movement, a bit like Kell Brook, he doesn't move enough, that head. He doesn't move the upper body enough, right? Yes, he has the high guard sometimes, but sometimes you can, with head movement, you can move your head and throw a punch at the same time, therefore landing and avoiding at the same time. When your head's static, when you throw a punch, your high guard is gone for a second, but your head is still static. Against hand speed, that could spell a little bit of trouble early against Andy Ruiz. And of course, I think Anthony Joshua has all the major tools over Deontay Wilder. He punches well with 2 hands. He has a variety of different punches, jabs to the body, uppercuts, hooks, etc. Better schooled all round, better foot movement in terms of placement, but isn't a static head and upper body movement a recipe for disaster with Deontay Wilder's right hand? Dominic Brazil found that out big time. Now, of course, Anthony Joshua is a heck of a lot better than Dominic Breazeale, but we've seen Deontay Wilder. He's happy to be down on the scorecards because he knows his power can potentially bail him out. One shot can end it with that guy. I think he has got the hardest right hand in the heavyweight division. I don't rate that left very much. That's an undeveloped punch. But if he could develop it, he would be, more lethal still. Inoue, when he freezes you with his jab and then comes in with his power punch. If Deontay Wilder could do that, well. But, you see, this is the reason why Anthony Joshua's head movement is important in both Ruiz and Deontay Wilder. You don't want to be taking unnecessary shots. Ruiz is not the power puncher Deontay Wilder is or Anthony Joshua is, but he does have 21 knockouts. He can hurt you, and I think he will land some leather early on. I agree with what Hatman said that this will not be a Dominic Breazeale style fight for Anthony Joshua. I can see this going a few rounds. But I can see Anthony Joshua using short punches, uppercuts in close. Because he's going to have to, because the referee won't keep breaking them up. Not in the United States. Not with the American fighter. And this is Andy Ruiz's big chance. He does have a sense of athleticism. He looks big, right? But he's fit. And he's quicker than most in the heavyweight division. He is. Again, looks can be deceptive. You can't necessarily fall for that, right? His body doesn't look like Mike Tyson or Frank Bruno, but it is besides the point. It's what happens in the squared circle when the bell goes that really, really counts. So I've no doubt that Andy Ruiz, this could be his moment. He's going to try and seize it. Do I think he's going to be good enough? I think he'll come up short in around 8 rounds. I could see this going to 8 rounds because Andy Ruiz is determined. But I see Joshua backing him up eventually when Ruiz gets fed up of taking Anthony Joshua's power. I see him then being backed off more to the centre of the ring or maybe mid-range, and Anthony Joshua doing what he did brilliantly in his last fight against Povetkin, jab to the body and take the wind out of them sails. And then eventually the guard of Ruiz will come down, and that's where Anthony Joshua's major punches are in business to the head. That's the pattern of the fight I see. But this will create various headlines. People will compare this performance to Dominic Breazeale. But I think Andy Ruiz has more to offer than Dominic Breazeale. I do. And you see, the thing is, Joshua took 7 rounds to beat Dominic Breazeale. Wilder took 1. But Wilder took 9 rounds to beat Molina, and Joshua only took 3. So you can't really read that much into that. You see, the mistake Dominic Breazeale made, again, static head movement up top. Doesn't move that head. Doesn't move the upper body much. Deontay Wilder stunned him with a right hand early in the first round. He went to the ropes, and Deontay Wilder smelt blood and went for the finish. Now, Dominic Breazeale then countered him, hit him. Now, I don't know whether Deontay Wilder was shook or whether he was off balance, but Deontay Wilder then fell backwards when Dominic Breazeale landed that shot. Now, you would think this is a chance for Dominic Breazeale to sort of reorganize himself, gather himself, think about what he's going to do. But what did he go and do? The thing that George Foreman says you never do. He went and followed a puncher. He didn't close the ring down as Andy Ruiz would. He followed the puncher to the centre of the ring with that static head and upper body movement. And then Deontay Wilder threw that right hand like a piston. And it was all over with the shouting. Lack of boxing IQ there. Now, Anthony Joshua has a much better IQ than Dominic Breazeale. But still, even with good upper body movement, I know Tyson Fury was only 60% probably when he fought Deontay Wilder, but even that version of Tyson Fury has better head movement than Anthony Joshua. But you know something? Deontay Wilder still landed some killer punches. He nearly ended it in that 12th. It was a miracle that Tyson Fury got up. The question is, would Anthony Joshua get up? I know he got up against Klitschko, but I think this is the hardest punching heavyweight with a right hand in the division right now. Joshua is not that far behind him. Joshua might finish Wilder off early, who knows? If he gets the chance to finish Wilder, you better do it, otherwise you could be looking at Luis Ortiz and saying, that makes two of us, brother. Literally, right? Because the thing is, AJ has all the advantages. Two-handed. Good Olympian, good pedigree. Great punch placement, good jab to head and body. Better placement of footwork than Deontay Wilder. But Deontay Wilder has that equalizer, especially against static targets. Because Deontay Wilder has a very unorthodox type of speed. And what I mean by that is not a stance in terms of southpaw and orthodox. I mean he moves more like when a basketball player is about to slam dunk at the ball. You know, he's sudden. That's the word. Sudden. The left hand is underdeveloped. But can you imagine if Deontay Wilder actually had a good left hand? Even an averagely good left hand. That would help his game tenfold. When you see Inoue, right, his jab is key. I've seen Inoue jab a guy and they freeze long enough that he can drop his power punch in and finish the job. Deontay Wilder would be another force altogether if he could just work on that little fundamental. A jab is not just there for the sake of it, it is a range finder, and Anthony Joshua has shown that. As I said, at some point, Andy Ruiz, unless he can stay close on the chest of Joshua for as long as he can, because he's the shorter guy, is going to learn that Anthony Joshua's jab is getting better to head and body all the time. And there's a purpose to it. Take the air out of the wheels. Break the body down. Break the mind down. Break the man down. That's what he did for Povetkin. I could see as the rounds were going on, and that was a close fight in the 6th. I had it even going into round 6. But I could see the effect those jabs from a hard-hitting heavyweight to the stomach was having. It was clever stuff in a way. Even if it's a close fight, if you can get your effective shots in, you're in business. And he's a bigger puncher than Andy Ruiz. But I think Joshua will look just about vulnerable enough for maybe Team Deontay Wilder to want this fight. Right? And we may get it. I think we may be on the verge. Call me being too optimistic, but I think that if Joshua can sort of look a bit ragged, they may want this fight, right? Of course, it can be a mistake, because as I said, styles make fights. Just because these guys, I mean, look at Ricky Hatton, he went 10 rounds with Floyd Mayweather, got ousted by Manny Pacquiao in 2 rounds, and then Floyd Mayweather beats Pacquiao. So we can't read into things like that. But it does give fighters and promoters confidence. Because there is one, as I said, Anthony Joshua and Dominic Breazeale are very unrelated. You know, Joshua is a different level. But you can't tell me that Deontay Wilder doesn't look at Anthony Joshua again. His upper body movement, which is sometimes compared with the great heavyweights, some of them, a bit static. You're not telling me that Deontay Wilder doesn't wonder, I can land that right hand there. As much skills as this guy's got, that is a little bit of him that is undeveloped. And in the heavyweight division, it only takes a punch. But back to Andy Ruiz, as I said, this is his time. He's going to try and shine. He's going to be hurt that he didn't get the decision in New Zealand that he felt he should have done. He will come to fight. He will manage, if he can get close to Joshua, that is, which I think he might early. The referee will let him work on the inside because Joshua is away from home. Andy Ruiz will not be broken up when he's trying to fight close the way Joseph Parker was at Wembley Stadium. But ultimately, I think Joshua takes a few punches, but Joshua is stern. But the little guys do manage to slip in them punches. Parker did it a few times. Povetkin did it a few times. Because they can get inside that body very quick. And that the punches manage to slip through. Sometimes the bigger the target, the easier to hit. Maybe a bigger fighter couldn't land as frequently. So Andy Ruiz will be looking to that. I see Joshua's tight guard being enough as the fight goes on. Maybe because Joshua is such a big guy, he can lean on Andy Ruiz, tire him out a bit. Then when Andy Ruiz starts stepping off as he starts to fatigue, Joshua will start working that jab to the body. The arms will come down of Ruiz, and I think Joshua then will finish him with, right, left or right. I see him start to tee off on him then. And the same sort of combination he did on Povetkin. But that's the sort of fight I see. But again, it will be enough for some people that are casual about all this to think, see, now he's gone 8 rounds or whatever. Because I see it going about 8 rounds. Now he's gone about 8 rounds with Andy Ruiz. Deontay Wilder will destroy him. That is yet to be seen. Either guy could go in 1 round. Andy Ruiz, if he caught him with the right shot. See, this is why they have to get that fight on soon. Somebody's going to get upset here. Somebody is going to get upset. There is going to be a shock somewhere on the line. Would I be surprised if Andy Ruiz caught him with the right shot, finished the job? No, because you have to remember, I'm a boxing fan from the 90s, guys. I saw Lennox Lewis, the dominant heavyweight, from then to now, right, take a shot from Oliver McCall, and that was all she wrote. I saw Lennox Lewis, who was never in better form in his whole life, and he looked like one of the best of all time, and he was, take a shot from Hasim Rahman in South Africa, and that was all she wrote. And that meant more delays to the Mike Tyson showdown. So, you're always on eggshells with heavyweights. They're not like any other division. They can land a jab and that hurts. They can land a power punch, not the biggest heavyweight puncher either. And he stuns you with one. If he lands another, it could be game over, right? Andy Ruiz, again, is no Wilder or Joshua, but if he can put combinations together, he's still gonna hurt you. And it only takes a punch or a couple, right? But if Joshua and Wilder do meet, if Joshua's head is stagnant for that 1 second and Wilder slips that punch in, that shot he finished Brazil with, I think, could finish anyone, right? Same thing, if Wilder is sloppy and winging his shots and Joshua is able to read it, parry it, or use defense to stop it, if Joshua puts, one clean punch or a combination, Wilder is going, right? If Wilder thought that Tyson Fury hit pretty hard and Luis Ortiz, then he's in for a different night with Anthony Joshua's power, put it that way. But if Joshua thought that Klitschko's power was tough, wait till he feels Wilder's, if Wilder's can get there, because to be honest, Klitschko did have better technique, but still, Wilder hits you. I don't care who you are, it's going to do some damage. Maybe if you've got Muhammad Ali's chin, yeah, but I don't think neither of these guys has got Muhammad Ali's chin. I'm not saying they've got bad chins, but it's not to that level. These two guys can be beaten. There are frailties. As I said, Joshua has more in the skills department, but not unbeatable. Not unbeatable at all. And again, in the heavyweight division, when you're a good heavyweight against a great heavyweight, you've got a great chance of beating the great heavyweight because it only takes a punch. But I think Joshua will survive a very energetic, optimistic, enthusiastic Andy Ruiz early and break him down, and eventually I don't see Andy Ruiz being actually knocked out. I see the referee saying that, that's enough. No mas. Not from Andy Ruiz, he won't quit, but the referee will say no mas. So that's my take on this. This is Champions of Champions Boxing Talk.
I'm out, brother.